Alrighty, fellow travelers, welcome back to the Adventures of a Traveling Don. My name is Benjamin O, and today we are continuing our journey from Maine back down to Texas on this fantastic road trip, and I am here in Richmond, Virginia. I'm going to be meeting up with a friend here for breakfast. We're going to be on the outskirts of Richmond to start off here in Tuckahoe, and then we are going to go into the city and check out some great stuff around Richmond, give you like tour of the city, some great spots if you ever come to Richmond, Virginia, what to check out. But anyway, let's go get some breakfast, shall we? Alright guys, so for breakfast I am at a place called Surrounding Counties, and I am joined by my dear friend, Mary, making her debut on the channel.
Hello.
Anyway, we go back a long ways, back to when I first moved here to Virginia. We worked at Bonefish Grill. But anyway, we're here at Surrounding Counties. This is my first time here. Is it your first time here?
It is.
Yeah. And they have kolaches. She's very excited. The closest kolaches, I think, before she found this was in Virginia Beach, so we have kolaches in Richmond. But anyway, we're checking out Surrounding Counties. Give it a try. This is the maple sriracha glazed bacon, egg, and cheese kolache. So down the hatch for you guys.
These are a Czech dish.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know.
We have kolache. There's a kolache place in Texas, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
On the way up to Dallas. But, oh my god. Oh my god, that's so good. And they even like they char like little happy face on top of it. It's really kind of cute. But that kolache is fantastic. And they also like they make all their own pastries and everything in house. And I went ahead and got a strawberry biscuit, and it's an interesting like the shape of it is really kind of interesting. It's very square, but it looks really good. I've actually had one bite of it, and it was very tasty.
Can concur. Also had a bite of it. It's good.
Mary approved.
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so good. Not too sweet, but very, very good. So, but yeah, this is Surrounding Counties here in Tuckahoe on the west side of Richmond. So we're gonna finish this off and then head into the city. All right, so the next spot here in Richmond that we are doing is the Maymont Estate. It is a 100-acre estate here in kind of like the south, almost western part of Richmond. It's the north side of the river though, but it is this massive estate with, of course, the Maymont mansion behind me, built by the Dooley family at the end of the 1800s. But it's a really, really kind of, I've been there once before, so we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna check it out. It's about a 12,000 square foot mansion with about 33 different rooms between 3 floors, and I believe there's also a basement as well. There is an audio tour, but we're gonna go ahead and go in, check it all out, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the mansion. What do you see, Mary?
This is a frog. This
Frog.
is some kind of little monkey creature. I don't know, kind of looks like a ferret with blue eyes. We've got an eagle. Oh, a shark.
I haven't seen these in forever. I used to have these when I was a kid. These Viewmasters are awesome. Oh, that takes me back. So it seems very interesting. When you're on the 3rd floor, it is all hands-on. And of course, it's the housekeeper's area. All the fancy stuff with, you know, where the lords live downstairs, you can't touch. But housekeepers, we can touch their stuff. That's just rude. But yeah, it's a fun little room.
It's okay. I
Yeah,
actually
it's
feel at
okay.
home in here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm gonna break something.
Right? We are working class people here. We understand. There's even a little Jesus fan right there. Look at that. Fan yourself with the Spirit of the Lord. Mary, here. Become a Jesus fan. Oh, the irony. All right, so that was the Maymont mansion, and yeah, it's 3 stories plus the basement down below. It's really, really cool. They give you these audio tour guides. That's about $8 for the whole thing, and you can take your time going through it. We went through it pretty fast, just because we were filming, but honestly, you could spend at least a good hour and a half, maybe what, 2 hours in there?
Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot, particularly in the basement area. It shows a lot of kind of like the stuff that the servants had to do, and it's just an absolutely huge mansion. But anyway, we're gonna go tour the rest of the gardens and go check them out. All right, so when you come to the Maymont estate, there are 2 main gardens on the estate. You have, behind me is the Italian garden, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's a little bit better during like summer, obviously, in spring, but there are some flowers that kind of like still stick around through the fall time. What's really cool, which you don't see right now, is usually there is a waterfall that drops down through these cliffs and down in towards the Japanese garden, which we'll go to next, as well as coming down this way through this kind of like really cool staircase setup, and then it just all kind of goes down into each pond all the way down. So usually they have that running during the summertime, the springtime. However, we're late into the fall, and we've already had a couple of freezes so far here in Virginia. So I think they shut the water off just so it didn't freeze. But yeah, anyway, the Italian garden's really cool, but my favorite is the Japanese garden, which we're gonna go to next. All right, Mary, go for it. You can do this. I have faith. You're not hungover like last time.
I'm learning.
Look at that. Hey, mission accomplished.
Yay.
Well done. Yeah, apparently she was hungover the last time, and that didn't go as well.
Who knew?
Okay, so the last spot that you want to do when you're at the Maymont Estates is here at the farm. So this is on the west side. They have an aviary, which is really cool. Got a bunch of different like hawks, owls, vultures, and stuff like that. And then there's this huge area where you have like the farm animals. There is a cage that does have the bobcat, but he wasn't poking around today. You actually see some random wild deer that I don't even think they're part of the exhibit. They were just chilling. But it is a really kind of like nice spot. You get to see some animals. This is more really for the kids and whatnot, but it is a cool area, and this is like the 4th. So yeah, 4 districts you really want to hit. You want to hit the mansion, you want to hit the 2 gardens, and then you want to hit the farm area here. So, but anyway, we are going to go head downtown next and grab some lunch because I'm starting to get hungry again. So let's go. All Alright guys, so I am here at the Secret Sandwich Society for lunch here in downtown Richmond. I've lost Mary, she had other obligations, but I do thank her for joining me on that first part of the video. But we're here for lunch, and this place looks really cool. I think it's a new spot, it's only been open for a few years, but they're all about the sandwiches, locally sourced products, and I got myself a whale of a sandwich. I got the fried chicken sandwich with ham, blue cheese spread, Swiss, honey mustard, and then of course I got myself some delicious sweet potato fries with a rosemary aioli. We're actually going to try those first before we dig into the sandwich. I mean, I haven't had sweet potato in a long time, so it's good to be back in the South. Give these a try. Oh, they're so good. I miss sweet potatoes. You don't find a lot of sweet potatoes up in Maine. Very rare, but man, that's good. But I can tell you right now, this sandwich, the size of this thing is just ridiculous. Just look at that. It's just, oh my gosh, it looks so good. I don't even know where to start, so let's just bite in, shall we? Oh, come on. I mean, just that chicken there. The ham adds kind of a nice little saltiness to it. And then that Swiss, you know, that kind of like that rich taste of Swiss cheese. Definitely got that, like that blue cheese. Oh, that's just like a very rich, nice sandwich. And then the honey mustard does add a little sweetness to that. So, man, that's a good fried chicken sandwich. Well done, Secret Sandwich Society. You need a sandwich for lunch? Come down here. They're one of the few places down here that's really open on Sunday. It's still Virginia, still Richmond. A lot of places are actually usually closed Sunday. This place is open on a Sunday with a delicious chicken sandwich. So no trip to Richmond, Virginia is ever complete without coming here to the state capital of Virginia. And it's really cool. Like, the building itself is awesome. Inside looks absolutely amazing. However, the biggest thing about it is when you come to the Capitol, come to the grounds. The grounds is what really makes this place special. You know, it's absolutely beautiful with all the different trees. You got fountains. You have a bunch of different memorials and statues to some of Virginia's finest, including my two favorite ones are the Women's Memorial, where they have like all these depictions of like different historical Virginia women in different poses as, you know, they're fighting for whatever rights they are at the time. Martha Washington, you have Maggie Walker, Virginia Randolph, and so many more. And then, of course, they also have a list of names as well for many of the historical women of Virginian descent that did so much for the United States. The other one, of course, being very important, is the Civil Rights Memorial, and it actually is very humbling and moving. Some great quotes along there, and just some great depiction scenes on that as well. The artistry is fantastic. But yeah, if you ever come down here to Richmond, you got to check out the state capitol. Okay, so after all of that walking and after the food for lunch, I have got to get myself a beer. You know, it's been a long day. I need to chill, relax. They've got the game on here. I'm here at Basic City Brewing Company. This is on the south side of the James River in what I believe used to be the old warehouse district that has slowly been becoming kind of like this hipster, you know, craft brewery, good restaurants, high-rise apartment buildings and stuff. It's still got a little bit like this place, still has that red brick warehouse style feel, but at the same time, it is also kind of, you know, starting to come up, modernize. This place, honestly, it's like a mixture of the old warehouse with a little steampunk action. It's actually really kind of cool. I love the interior for this spot. And I had to go and get myself a beer. I got to try 3 different little samples real quick. I ended up on the Hornig, which is their amber lager. So cheers to you guys. Let's dig into this. That is a great amber lager, and I'll tell you right now, this is a great place. Yeah, if you ever come to Richmond, come to the south side of James River, Basic City Brewing Company. This place is awesome. Now, excuse me while I drink my beer and watch some football. Okay guys, so the last spot I'm taking you to here in Richmond is still here on the south side. It is part of the James River. This is the Belle Isle Dry Rocks area. And this is all part of the James River nature and natural trails. So it's a mass amount of trails on both the north, or mainly on the south, but also on the north side of the James River throughout Richmond. So many walking trails, hiking trails that go throughout. But this is the Dry Rocks area. So this is technically an offshoot from the main part of the river, which is over on the other side of Belle Isle, which is right behind me. Right now it is actually rather dry, as the name. However, if you're here during like the late spring to midsummer, after the snows have melted and they all kind of come down, there is actually a rush of water that kind of comes through here, and you get creeks and like little falls that kind of crash through these rocks, and it's actually really a lot of fun to come out here and kind of just dip your toes in, maybe slide down a few of the areas because it's pretty smooth rock here. But yeah, this is the Belle Isle. Belle Isle's behind me, the Dry Rocks, and James River. So I'm gonna go over to Belle Isle, give you one last shot of Richmond's skyline from that side, and I'll show you kind of like the overpass that takes you over to Belle Isle. But yeah, this is just a great kind of like nature walking area along the James River here. But yeah, the Belle Isle Rocks. Now let's go over to get to Belle Isle and get that shot of Richmond for you. So I know with the old hydro plant that they had here, and the fact that they worked with scrap iron here, and I think stored some of it, smelted it down from England, that some of these old ruins, there might have been some stuff that happened, you know, given that there were slaves that worked here, indentured men as well, immigrants came and worked here. I'm sure people died here, but given the fact that this says go back, it's a little spooky. Ghosties, if you're around, I come in peace, and I'm just here to film your beautiful island. So maybe people will come here, and then you can scare them and whisk them off away. Just don't do that for me, because I gotta get this video out. Okay? Okay. Love you. Anyway, let's hope I make it back off this spooky haunted island. Yeah, I'm even more convinced this place is haunted. Literally, this building behind me is an environmental education center that was gifted and donated by the city of Richmond in 1993, which was less than 30 years ago as of this filming. And it's already dilapidated and abandoned. There's something going on this island. Well, no wonder I had a feeling that this was a spooky ghost place. Belle Isle used to be a Civil War encampment for the Confederacy. It was only supposed to hold 3,000 people at one time. And at one point they stuffed like 20,000. Huh. So we have made it to the actual James River, and behind me is what is called the Hollywood Rapids. And they are a mixture of anywhere from level 1 to level 4 rapids up and down this area of the James River. This is a popular place during the summertime where people come here to cool off. Definitely stay away from this area, but you go a little bit further upstream, you've got some of those smaller rapids that, you know, it's just a fun little dip down. Yeah, this is a great spot to come out here any time of the year, honestly, but really during the summertime when it's so hot in Virginia, it gets super muggy, just come out here and dip your feet in, you know, wade into like the little tide pool areas over off to the side as well. But yeah, this is right here, the Hollywood Rapids. And as you can see in the background, you've got a great kind of like skyline view of Richmond. There's actually one spot that's got a little bit better, so we'll go there to finish up the video. But I wanted to show you guys the rapids here along James River. Alrighty guys, so I am here at North Point Beach area. This is the northeastern point of Belle Isle, and of course it gives you this grand sweeping view. The beach is actually on the other side of these trees. I was able to get in some shots, but didn't want to disturb. There was a couple with a young baby. They were trying to do one-year-old pictures, so trying not to get in the way, but I was able to get you guys a great skyline view of Richmond from that point. It is a great spot if you ever want that picture. Absolutely amazing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Richmond. It's kind of more of like a hidden gems of Richmond, really, outside of the state capital. Nothing else would be on a real tour docket, but that's what I like to do, you know, give you guys the real inside scoop, not just the regular tourist stuff. But anyway, guys, if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button, give me the thumbs up, and if you have any comments, just let me know in the bottom. I will answer them as much as absolutely possible. Other great places around Richmond and the surrounding areas, Charlottesville. Any questions about that? Lived here for about 1.5 years and have visited several times. I can do as much as I can to help you guys. But in the meantime, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate the support, and I've got to give a big shout out, Mary, at the beginning of this video for those first 2 segments. Thank you so much for joining me. It was great to see you, girl. And you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Until then, peace out and have a great night.